Hello, and thank you for activating your regional android agent of the Galactic Law Cooperation. I will be assisting you through the remainder of your visit. How can I be of service today? You'd like to report a crime? And what kind of crime are you interested in reporting today? A shipjacking? Okay, well, let me just make up a file so that we can get all the details, and I can pass this on to the officers who will be working the case. That way they'll have all the information readily at their fingertips, okay? So, reporting a shipjacking, is that correct? Okay. And was this your spaceship that was stolen? It was. Okay. And when did this shipjacking occur? Okay. And what time of day was that? And where exactly did this occur? Okay, what solar system is that in? Okay. And what is your name? Okay. Your hailing frequency, in case someone needs to contact you for additional information. Okay. Is that Y2 or I2? Y2? Okay. And what is your home solar system? Okay. What is your nearest star? Okay. So, you don't have a lot of time left in that system, sounds like. I know that that one's about to enlarge and engulf the entire system. Yeah, it's kind of a bummer. And what planet in that system? Okay. And what province on the planet? Okay. And do you have a copy of your ship operator's registration agreement? That's no problem. I can just look you up in the system with the information that you've given to me. Okay, here we go. Yes, I found your registration. I'm just gonna pull your operating number off of this so that we have that on your file, okay? Okay, great. Now, were you attacked or injured in any way during the shipjacking? You were hit with a stun weapon? Do you know what kind of stun weapon it was? You think it was probably an illegal stun weapon? And why is that? You've never seen one before and it had no markings? Could you describe the stun weapon for me? Okay. And about how large would you say? Okay. Yes, the description that you're giving is producing an alarm for an illegal stun weapon, so you probably are correct in that assumption. We'll look into this more as we investigate. Now, what type of ship was it that was stolen? Really? Yes, I'm just a little bit surprised. According to the information I have in my files, I guess I didn't realize that those were actually worth stealing. Perhaps someone just wanted it for scrap, but let me put that in the report. Though, actually, even the scrap price isn't paying much for those right now, so I'm actually kind of surprised that that was stolen. But anyway, can you describe the condition of the ship, please? Everything was in good working order? Okay. Was it standard issue color, or did it have a custom color? Okay, standard. Any obvious identifying marks on it? On the exterior, yes. Okay. And was that the medium or large edition of that model? Large, okay. And what is the thruster, color, and energy signature? Okay. It's kind of unique in itself, actually. How many engines does it have? Okay. What is the serial identification number? And is that printed anywhere on the exterior of the ship in large print that could be seen from a passing ship? Okay. Yes, we always ask that because it does make it easier if it can be spotted from a distance away. Some ships only have the really tiny little serial numbers carved on them, which does make it difficult to find the lost ships because you have to be right up next to it, usually when it's parked in a spaceport, in order to see the serial number. But of course, we do have many other ways of tracking them down, which is why we require a full description of the ship. Now, are there any unique alterations on the ship or missing pieces that might make it look different from other ships of the same model? Okay. And where is that located on the ship? Okay. And is the hyperdrive in good working order? It is. Okay, a little bit unfortunate. Well, not unfortunate for the ship, of course. That's great for the ship, but when a ship has been stolen, if the hyperdrive is in good working order, it does kind of mean that the ship can be pretty much anywhere in the galaxy right now. So that's why I say it's a little bit unfortunate. Now, can you describe the shipjackers? How many were there? 2. Okay. And what species were they? Were they both the same species? No? Okay. What species were they then? You're not entirely sure? Okay. Well, why don't you describe what they look like so that we can kind of help identify what species they were? Why don't you start with the pilot? Give me a rundown of the pilot's description. Pilot had green skin. Okay. And what else? Tentacles. And how many tentacles did the pilot have? Okay. How about legs? Did it walk on 2 legs or 4? Okay. And anything else that you can help describe it? It appeared to have wings. Okay, and why do you say it appeared to have wings? They looked to be tucked in the back, so you couldn't quite tell? but possibly. Okay. And did the pilot have hands or claws to the best of your knowledge? You think they were claws? Okay. And what would you estimate for a height and weight? Okay. Well, that sounds like it may have been a Garlarian. We can't verify that without seeing it, of course, but this will help us know what we're looking for. Can you describe the one with the illegal stun blaster? It was red and white spotted. Okay. Did this one have tentacles? No. But it did have 17 raised eyes. Okay. And what other defining features did it have? 3-inch teeth. Okay. And when you say teeth, do you mean all of them, or did it have fangs? Fangs, okay. And did this one have hands or claws? Hands, okay. It had 6 fingers on its right hand. Okay, we actually have a report from someone else about a similar suspect. Something about murdering their father, I believe. So this may be the same being that committed that. So I'm just going to make a little note of that on the file. Now, did they both enter the ship before it took off? They did, okay. And what direction did they fly off in? Toward the Red Lake Nebula? All right. And what was the speed as they were taking off? So they were moving pretty good then. Okay. And have you received any ransom demands or any sort of contact at all from the thieves? Not to the best of your knowledge? Okay. And was there anything of value on the ship aside from the obvious valuable equipment within with the electrical systems and the usual things? Anything out of the ordinary that might have not been part of the ship but was just something valuable that belonged to you? You purposely don't keep valuables on the ship? That's a very smart way of going about it. Okay. Now, the file is complete. We will have someone working on this case, and we will let you know if we find anything. Unfortunately, the galaxy is a very large place, and many times we never find them at all. However, if we do find something, we'll let you know. But the odds are that this has been taken to Tarna for scrap, and by the time we get there, there will probably be nothing left of your ship. However, we'll start by checking there, and we do have your description of the suspects, so we will certainly be looking for them as well, but I wouldn't get your hopes too high. Thank you for contacting the Galactic Law Cooperative. Please visit again if we can be of further assistance.